Hello everyone, it's our Wednesday live audience show. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabiba, and as always, I never do this alone. I have the lovely ladies in the building.
Good morning.
Hi, talk about in the building.
Yo, let me do YK today.
That's what has been tripping all over. This year, you're ending this year with a bang. I mean, there's anybody that has achieved her dreams this year, it's got to be you.
I've been technically balling. I had, honestly, since I was pregnant, I didn't travel all through at all. And as my baby just clocked 2, God just opened plenty opportunities, and, you know, I'm very grateful. I'm very, very grateful. I went for a conference, it was successful. Most importantly, we were able to have a template of how we can replicate it. Right. And that for me was more important than the event itself, because the value of it, people were saying, why are you not doing this in Nigeria? And I said, well, my friend was willing to invest our money into making this happen. And a lot of times that's what you need, somebody that will be willing to put the money into what the passion is. And not all of us have it, but she had it. Everything generally went well. People definitely need to work on mindsets, and so as many events as possible that would engage people to start thinking right, because naturally we're going to think wrong. We're born to think negative. So
I mean we had a guest yesterday or 2 days ago, Monday, who she came from the US and she worked she works in JP Morgan, and she was living the American dream. You know, she was a successful young lady, and we're saying, listen, how does a Nigerian living abroad actually just get it right? Because a lot of people go there and they start doing menial jobs and just start trying to hustle. So I think it was good for your conference to help Nigerians living abroad to get their lives together, to show them the opportunities.
The struggle is real. People were really complaining.
The hustle is real in the US.
A lot of people were complaining. There was so much lament. And I'm only, you left Nigeria, you are here, and you're still
lamenting. Anyway,
the ones in Nigeria looking at you and thinking
that you got it covered. Anyway, YK in the building. Thank you. YK is always missing our audience. They'll miss you too. How you doing, YK?
I'm fine.
Because you're always doing Tuesday, Thursday, so they never see you on Wednesdays a lot of times.
Yeah, but Bolaji,
made sure
she's doing Wednesdays. Iron lady for me. Iron lady. So, I want to say thank you to Valerie. One leg is touching the floor now.
Oh gosh, YK. Once you disgrace us like this.
One leg is now touching. It's remaining the second leg.
Right. I'm not going to greet you again. Let's go to Mariam. Mariam, how are you, Jerry?
I'm doing fine. I'm amazing. And hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. You are all looking so, I don't know, did you give them like a specific dress code? They're looking really bright and beautiful today. Yes.
Good to have you guys. Anyways, good to, I mean, our live audience shows are, we're trying to get more people to come, you know, because it's important that people know that, listen, we want to hear your views. I mean, Nigerians must understand that every Nigerian's views are important, and that's the reason why this show is here, to give you a voice. You know, they must, no matter what they do out there, they must understand we have a perspective, and that's important. So please come on the show. If you'd like to ask a question, we'll definitely give you an opportunity to say 1 or 2 things. Exactly. Let's go on a break. When we come back, there's no more gist. Do you have gist for me, YK? You that you always embarrass us on television. So should I embarrass you this morning? Should I tell you what I know about you?
Tell me. Just me.
We'll be right back. We'll be right back. Right, we're back. We're going to start with the punch. Violence at Akwa Ibom Assembly. Governor foils plot to impeach him. Speaker leads PDP youths to dislodge 5 APC workers, APC lawmakers actually. Angry youths burn APC supporters' car. 5 die, 2 injured as 2 cars collide in Ogun. Senate suspends confirmation of EFCC secretary. Customs officers gunned down policeman's wife in Lagos. EFCC has frozen my account. I can't feed my family. Sex for Marx. That's me too talking there. Sex for Marx, ex-OAU lecturer chanted incantation to derail the trial, says prosecutor. Leave my office. We are in darkness, Obaseki tells Brother Shon's boss. And states generated 579 billion in 6 months, says NBS. Finally, Falcons beat Cameroon, qualify for the AWCON Final World Cup. That's fantastic to the ladies.
Yes, so
that penalty shootout, I think it was 6 goals they scored. It was pretty impressive. Well done to the girls. I mean, those girls always make us proud. It's just that we don't celebrate them as much as we should. But I was so happy. It was thrilling to see how much work they put in and the fact that they were able to get to the finals.
Yeah, the story, the customs, her name was Patience. What had happened was the customs were chasing about 120 bags of rice that they said they had smuggled. And then while those ones were running, they started to fire.
In the air.
In the air. And the woman who was standing by the filling station, she was on her way to the market, got shot. She had the presence of mind to give a good Samaritan her phone to call her husband.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, by the time she got to the hospital, she was dead.
You know what?
So when the husband got there, she was already dead. There were 2 that were shot. I know what?
No, I was going to say that I think we need a lesson on how guns, when you shoot a gun. Because you think that when the police shoots in the air, it's safe, because that's the assumption. But somehow it becomes, it somehow travels such that it can hit somebody.
They call it ricochet.
Somebody is a ricochet, right? Somebody needs to help us understand how that thing works, because obviously our police officers have no clue.
Because it can
just shoot in the hair, it can hit something and bounce back.
And this isn't the first time. This isn't the first time it's happening. And so I don't even, it's not our business to understand how it works. It's actually their responsibility to ensure that they do.
Them on your view. We bring a policeman that can train them. Maybe they should see.
A security expert that probably knows what to do.
Somebody who understands guns.
It's really bad. We don't need to lose.
It is very, very bad.
Really
Why should they even fire? Why should they even have guns?
Yeah, but customs smuggling, we'll say
So?
that.
You know they have...
So?
Okay, let's talk about...
I'll take the story. The House of Representatives are summoning Fashola, Minister of Works, Tripartite Ministry.
Anyway, I didn't mention the rep someone's Fashola about bridges destroyed.
Yeah,
okay.
so bridges were destroyed in 2015 by Boko Haram in Mararaba, Mubi, Michka, Magadali, Gwoza Road. And it's been approved for reconstruction. They even said that the contractors have been paid mobilization fee and that nothing has been done on that road. The representative of that area, Mr. Adamu Kamali, is saying that they should summon the House of the Minister to explain what exactly is going on, because this contract has been, the payment has been done since 2016, and yet nothing has been done till now. And these places have been destroyed. There was supposed to be even a temporary bridge to connect the communities, but nothing has been done since Boko Haram attack in those areas to ensure that they can still...
Let's move on now to The Nation 2019 poll. Why Buhari must continue, says Tinubu. Buhari Oshomole, all governors in Oshun, as Oyetola takes over from Aregbe Shola. Senate seeks suspension of new tariff on alcohol and others. Reps to probe funding of war against Boko Haram. Court denies OAU Sex for Marks lecturer bail. Violence rocks Akwa Ibom Assembly, and houseboy kills boss. Who has that story?
You can get that story.
These houseboys that are just killing their bosses, honestly. Congratulations to Oyetola, the new governor Oyetola now. I have to say that properly. He's the new governor of Osun State.
So my prayer is that the people of Osun fare better under this dispensation, and they should monitor, they should, because we're responsible for the government we get. So they should ensure that they are monitoring what is going on within that state.
Are you saying they didn't fare well?
He has promised them 30,000 jobs. So if he has promised them 30,000, every government should succeed the next and do a better job.
I have to ask, are you saying...
Forward ever.
No, forward now.
Are you saying...
No, we're not saying...
Let me know what you are saying.
I said they should fare better.
Why
fare better. We don't want whole half. We don't want...
Don't let her put words in your mouth. Let's move on to Vanguard. Moving on to Vanguard. Gunfire as Akwa Ibom Assembly crisis escalates.
We need to discuss this one.
This is Akwa Ibom matter. I worked against the release of Ganduje's bribe video, says Kwakonso. PDP welcomes pay rise for police, says Southeast governors. Fears will be addressed. Metele killings, reps resolve to probe security funds. Kalu thanks Nigerians, affirms faith in judiciary. Oyetola sworn in as Osun governor. And Ocon, the Super Falcons in final qualifies for the World Cup. Let's talk about Akwa Ibom for a moment, please.
So I think this whole story started November 19th. 6 former PDP speakers had defected to APC, and the Speaker of the House declared their seats vacant. They got upset, of course. They found a way to come back, and then they impeached the speaker. And so there were stories that they were proceeding to impeach the governor, and then the governor now comes in with security operatives and some youths shooting in the air. These lawmakers had to jump over the fence, you know, for their lives and everything. So people were burning things and everything.
Because so they came in, those lawmakers came in with their own police, security and official, with another miss to come and impeach the speaker. And
the governor.
They actually
they also want to impeach the governor. But the governor's part of this is that the governor is alleging that the current police commissioner in that state is working against his state, and the person was just deployed there, that they should redeploy him away because they feel that the police is supporting a group of people against the state.
He has no moral justification now. You went in there with security operative and you are burning things down. You have these people jumping the fence. What is his business being involved to that degree? That is bad.
Why are you saying he doesn't have... Because they are
coming to bring in people and
do they have the rights?
Okay, let us review the papers. Let's not discuss the papers.
Exactly.
So let's move on to Daily Sun. Federal government rakes in $53 million. Oh, these are like
dividends of whistleblowing.
Yeah, so dividends saying that they have recovered plenty. In fact, I think there's a total of giving one paper, 540 billion in general. So that's saying that they've recovered them from the whistleblowers. Oshun Oyetola in Aregbesola out. Kalu thanks all, reaffirms faith in judiciary. Senate stops new tax regime. Governor Wike alleges rigging plot in Rivers and Akwa Ibom.
Let me take the tax regime. So the federal government has decided that as a way to increase revenue, they were going to put a 500% increase of tax on tobacco and alcoholic beverages generally. But now the Senate is saying that that difference will be too much. And it would negatively impact on the economy, that these companies are already suffering loss based on the general downturn of the economy generally. And so we shouldn't put more hardship on them. So the Senate is proposing that it should be done, it should be maximum of 50% increase in the tariffs on these companies, and it should be done incrementally starting from 35%. Well, that's their proposition. Let's wait to see how it goes.
So we should be happy about the whistleblower, right?
Yes.
I mean, the numbers are big.
Where is the money?
$53 million, 527 billion.
Where is the money?
120. I am.
We are just saying all these large amounts of money.
And yet we are still borrowing
it. Everything is getting expensive. Christmas is coming.
Everybody lots of figures will be thrown at us. So let us take it with a pinch of salt. All right.
I beg, all these
Moving
ones
on
are
to
just...
New Telegraph. Gunshots as governor chases away lawmakers and foils impeachment. 2019 APC PDP at war over the diversion of military funds. Kalu reaffirms faith in judiciary, returns November 30th. And HIV drugs can actually eliminate Alzheimer's disease. So the APC and PDP at war in the House.
So the killings, the killings that happened, follow up on the story. The House of Assembly is saying that we need to investigate all the money that is going towards to the military.
$1 billion
the army chiefs should discuss how this money is being spent, that the impact is not being felt if we're still losing lives, and that they should even publish the names of every officer that died as a respect to those officers because they've sacrificed their lives for Nigeria. Also saying that they should even sack or fire the service chiefs because obviously they're not doing their jobs right.
There was a report that there's this video, the soldiers are saying their equipment is obsolete.
So where did the money?
Where did the money actually
and
go?
Also, in fairness,
alleging that this particular administration hasn't bought any weapons or anything since.
In fairness, those who came to ambush the soldiers actually carted away quite a bit of ammunition. So we can't say.
So where's the intelligence?
The issue might not be so much that they didn't get ammunition. It's probably that they don't have enough.
This is one of the core intelligence. This is one of the core things President Buhari promised. Corruption, security.
My own question is this. They are busy chasing those... What are those people? That's El Zazaki's people.
Oh, okay.
They are chasing those ones, the Shiites, up and down.
They are not chasing them.
They are not chasing the real culprits.
We didn't mention that over 161 first class this year. 161 of them bagged first class, and 113 of them were women. 48 of them were men. So
awesome! Please, that's a good one.
Law school.
Law school. First class.
No, let's talk about good news. They are good things.
YK, it's a good thing. We want to
It's not say it's not a good thing, but she just took me on a 360. Come on.
YK, we want to be happy.
I want you to end this on a good note.
When we come back, we continue this conversation with we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So as you all know, discussion on rape cannot be overflogged or emphasized, remains prevalent amongst us here. Top-line results have revealed that almost 7 in 10 adult Nigerians, about 67%, think there's a high prevalence of high rape in Nigeria, while 3 in 10, about 31% personality, know someone who was a victim of child rape in their local communities. Joining us on the show is one of Nigeria's top legal practitioners and a women's rights activist, Mrs. Fumi Falana. Welcome to the show, madam.
Thank you, Mariam. It's my pleasure.
Also, we have with us the convener, Symposium Girl Child Wise Walk, Emike Oyemade. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So you can join the conversation on 070-806-68014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect, please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Recently, YK's back to school, the
School reunion.
School reunion that you had, where this discussion on rape came, and where you had to have a conversation with young ladies, and it was obvious that this thing is in our society every single day. Girls are going through this, and I also refer to the fact that even Uwa, who was a member of our show, at some point had an event, and where she was going to schools, and these kids were telling her in confidence things happening within their homes, their fathers, their uncles, even lesbianism going on with kids. These kids are, and we bring praise for we're here almost every time to teach us how to do parenting. So you are faced with this every day. You see this every day. I'd like you, before we get into the legal angle of how the courts or the legal can give us a redress to this, I want you to share a bit of experience in talking to young girls. What causes what are the circumstances in which they find themselves in this situation of rape?
Thank you very much. I think that it starts from parenting, really. That's where it starts from. And when we talk about parenting, it's not just about having children. People plan to get married, but not many people plan to have children. And planning to have children is not just giving birth. It's planning how you're going to take care of these children. That has to be discussed, what they would be exposed to, how you want to bring them up is also very important. Now, why most parents have not been able to achieve how they bring up their children is because they themselves have issues. For instance, a woman who was maybe raped when she was young and she's yet to be whole cannot teach a child how to avoid sexual abuse. Not just teach the child, cannot even help that child avoid sexual abuse. And then fathers generally run from teaching their children also about sexual abuse. We had a program early this year. It was supposed to be between daughters and fathers. First, we did a survey. There were many fathers who didn't want to come with their daughter. We didn't want the moms to come. We just wanted fathers come with your daughter from age to 18,
right.
Age 5 to 18. Right. But there were many fathers who just felt 5 years, I can't talk to my daughter at 5 years about sex. And the question is, why don't you want to? But the possibility is that in that same home, a neighbor can be abusing the child.
Okay, because of
we're
time.
not talking about the issues.
No, we're not. The core issue has not been addressed.
I want you to talk to our parents on things you've heard, things you've seen, because they need to understand the circumstances that causes this thing sometimes within the homes. Yes, you're not whole. Yes, you need to be equipped by experts on how to do this. But what have we done to put ourselves in this situation?
Now, one of the things that I think most parents have done is to give transfer their responsibilities to other people, like their teachers, the teachers at school, to nannies, to in-laws, to all other people.
You know what? I get you. I get giving your responsibility, but we now have a situation where the perpetrators of this crime are the fathers, sometimes the mothers. Where do these children go? The very people who are meant to protect you, the very people who are meant to keep you safe.
Ms. Falana on this area because
yes, thank you very much. I also agree with her to an extent, but I want us to also look at this other aspect of the Africanness of the whole issue. In our society, the idea of uncle, my stepbrother stays with me, my half-sister, half-brothers. And so we should, as parents, let our children, well, the girl children, know that that uncle could also be dangerous to you. Although living in the same compound, you also must know how to comport yourself. It is not everybody, every male around that you should allow them to call uncle. Let him be called Mr. It's, of course, you will say it's an African.
Well, how do you handle
but you
daddy
put
when it's daddy, when it's not uncle now, it's father, your own father?
Yes, you also teach them to know the potential dangerous adults, the way they look at you. And so let your child know that she should not sit on the lap of a man. A man should not put her on his lap. A man should also not touch you anyhow. We should begin to teach them as they grow that you are a woman, you are going to be a woman, you are a girl. And so there are ways, there are some places around you that are a man. So when you see a man that is looking at you surreptitiously, you should take a sensible flight.
Okay, so most of the time when we talk about rape, we discuss it from the perspective of the girl getting raped. I have 3 boys, and I've spoken at events through my church, and I realized that a lot of boys, their first ever sexual experience is with nannies, aunties, neighbors that are much older than them, and it is also very prevalent. But we're not getting enough information on how to protect our boys too, and it's to you. How do we protect our boys? How do we get them away? We know that the girl shouldn't sit down, but what should the boy do?
And to just help you out there, so some of the boys actually get sodomized.
Yes.
So it's not just by
which is even, for me, an even bigger.
I think the idea also should be that we should encourage them to speak out. So if he or she is close to a parent, if another parent is becoming unreasonable, you must be able to give them a very free environment. As a matter of fact, it is their right under the Child's Rights Act to have freedom of expression. Let them have an environment of friendliness in the home. They must be able to tell you the changes that is happening in her body or whoever is close to him.
Let me get your own views on what Tokwe asks on the boy child.
Now, one of the things mentioned earlier is when we're teaching our children about sex, sexual abuse and all of this, we must be able to draw a line, that thin line between creating fear and suspicions in the heart of the child. Because most of the time, what people do is you just create unnecessary suspicion in such a way that even if the person doesn't have that kind of intention, the child begins to just suspect everybody around them. So it must start from first teaching the child and not pointing fingers that this is what this person can do, but you are telling the child this is the possibility and not just everybody.
My daughter, she's so friendly. She likes to hug everybody. My daughter was complaining just this morning. This way is gone. Everybody's hug. Hey, auntie. You know, that kind of. So I'm trying to make her understand that it's okay to hug, but she needs to be able to know how, when to draw the line.
That's it. So you are balancing it. What parents need to do is balance it. If you don't balance it, the child, you even create the kind of fear that can bring about low self-esteem in that child. Now, talking about the boy child is also abused. We go to schools, and we go to only boys' school, and we see boys who are abused by other boys and nannies as well. Now, the same way you teach the girl child is the same way you teach the boy child. The difference is that I think parents need to stop telling the boy, stop behaving like a girl. Because when you do that, the boy now wants to man up. And so when something is going wrong, he doesn't want to behave like a girl, so he wants to keep it. Now, what exactly do you mean when you tell your son, stop behaving like a girl? You are indirectly saying a girl is a weakling. A girl is, so when you do that, you know.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, I I want us to dig deeper because there are also issues of how, when your children's body starts to change, how soon that happens, and what you should do as a parent to help them understand what's going on with their body. I want us to talk about that. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. I know I wanted us to go into sexual education, but I think we'll bring in other experts for that some other time. But because I want you to really help us to share some stories that you've heard in your own expertise. Because I want Mrs. Falana to also help us understand the legal angles. What can we do? What can the law do to help to help rescue some of these children from these families? But share one of it, because I know YK met you when she went for an event. So I would like you to just share with the stories for our viewers.
Okay, in that event, it was an all-girls event, and then after talking, we requested that they write their questions so they can be detailed and free. And we got about 42 questions. And 8 of those girls were having constant sexual relationship with their father. And the sad part of it is about 5 of them is to the knowledge of the mom. Now, 2 of those 5, they've had abortions aided by the mom, you know, and then one of them, she says she wants to die because being abused by the father, my mother knows about it. I don't have anywhere else to go. I can't run anywhere. And I just think that death is the only way to get out of this situation.
Right, Mrs. Falana, these things happen. We are hearing these stories.
Yes.
Because if we can talk about, oh, teach your children, to teach this. But there are people that are in it already. What can you do? What can the law do to protect and help these people?
Yeah, unfortunately, people don't take the benefits of the law. But the law also is there to protect. Like the example she just gave, the girl can be protected by the state. But the problem is people will not speak out. Such a girl can be taken away from the environment. The court will give an order to ask that the girl be taken to the home where she will be monitored and she will continue her education. Now, but we have also discovered that parents believe it's a stigma. And so why should I let people know what is happening? But if we do not prosecute offenders, there will be no deterrence. We also must get people prosecuted, let them go to jail so that others will learn their lessons. But the environment is such that people want to hide it. Okay, my daughter may find it difficult to get a husband. Who says that? You, of course, do not have to let people, because information dies after some time. Right. Nobody is going to remember that in about 2-3
Emike, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, ma. Emike she's married, and she has had the experience of sexual abuse. So I would love for her to share her own story so that people will know that it's not a sin. You can get married.
Yes.
And have a life. And you can have a life. So please.
I would say that, well, now that I'm an adult, I used to blame my mom because she was with us most of the time. I don't blame anybody anymore for it because I was first violated right under her nose, and by somebody that she's very familiar with, that she called her brother, but he wasn't her brother anyway. And then she saw this young man as somebody harmless, and every time she had to go out, so she would tell him to look after us. And so his way of looking after us was to abuse me. Now, because before that point in time, I didn't have a good relationship with my mom. My mom was a very strict person. And when I started my menstrual cycle, when I started noticing changes in my body, she wasn't the first person that I talked to. And so when this now happened, I just couldn't also talk to her. Now, what happened after that, because I didn't talk to her, it also opened me up for other abuses. For a long time. So what I discovered even in adulthood is that if you don't speak up when you are abused, the tendency that you will abuse again, would happen, and then it continued like that.
You see, one of my frustrations with all these commissioners of women or women affairs, women something, they always gather themselves together to go and eat dinner somewhere. There are real issues that they are not really addressing.
True.
Because I would expect that a women's, whatever, commission would do some kind of intervention to schools such that the girls, the children, the boys know that the law is available to help them. So aside from the counseling you're getting for education, there's a counseling that, listen, if you have been abused in any shape or fashion, the law, we are here to protect your interests. So the kids know, and they have an option. That girl, that her father is raping her, and her mother is aware, making this and doing abortions for her, would know that the counselor came to our school and said that I can go to XYZ.
Sadly, we still have a knowledge gap, a very huge knowledge gap, and we are not in Lagos. We are privileged because we have this some of these NGOs that go to schools and all that. But there are places across Nigeria that don't have that same privilege, and they are suffering this.
Of education,
TV might be the only way they'll get to hear about this. But what we keep saying is ability for an environment that allows children to speak up. And I think that is very, very important. School, at home. Environments to allow the child to speak up.
And Tokwe, you're right. The thing with Nigeria is that sometimes just asking the question about sex is enough to get you stigmatized. Why are you even thinking like that in the first place? So a lot of children are afraid to even ask you just the simplest questions of how sex works and their body changes.
Ms. Lava, let me come to you because I want you to... Yes, go ahead.
I should go further to have a proper conviction. And this is also where people fail in prosecuting. You must, right from the time it occurred, make sure that you preserve the primary evidence. And that is the underpants. Most of the time when this happens, nobody bothers about that. In fact, they don't get to know, they don't get to tell anybody. But the underpants must be preserved because it is the fluid from the underpants that will be taken as evidence, primary evidence. And so we also employ the victim not to have a bath. Because we're going to take the specimen. Most people do not know. They will say, go straight and report to the police. There where again, the police often compromise when we get there. And that is another area we should look at.
What's the government doing to help people when a station police is compromised? So you are telling the girl or a boy that if anything happens, keep your underpants or give... When the police is compromised,
Lagos is really lucky. Yes. Legally, we have hospitals in Lagos. They have rape kits. That's
we have we have human rights. We have human rights departments in police stations.
Yeah. So
could you have
so one of the things
I think we're very privileged in Lagos. I'll tell you because I went somewhere
like other places.
Yes, I went somewhere recently. I was talking about this thing. It was like I was speaking Greek. How do you say that a 14-year-old girl is having sex and there's something bad about that? In fact, I had a 14-year-old boy who challenged me to stop talking. Why? Because I said that for a girl having sex at 14, even if she seemed to consent to it, is sexual abuse. But he said no, that's not correct.
This country.
Yes. So if we talk about sexual abuse, these things, Lagos, I would say, is doing a lot, even though the rate of abuse has increased by 200%, different from what it was last year.
Are you sure it's the rate of abuse or the rate of information reports?
The reported cases, I mean.
Reported cases.
But in some other places, it's worse than it is.
So perhaps I should also mention this, because you mentioned the women affairs. The law, the child's right law, actually specifies that a body must be set up. And in Lagos State, there is a body, but I'm not sure if they are doing anything.
Right.
In other places, where there are child's right law in other places. But specifically, I'm talking about Lagos. They are expected to have a body that moves around to know whether these laws are being complied with. So such body is given the power to pick up such a girl or such a boy, whichever case the case may be, and rehabilitate. But whether they do this or not,
it's a totally different case. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll take some phone calls and tweets. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's take a few tweets. Mariam, want to take some?
Yes. Zeal says the rate of rape all over the world is 95% involvement of the male child compared to the girl child. So parents have to continually put it up to the male child from infant that rape is the highest practice of wickedness. My name is Pablo says, most boys who happen to have been sexually molested by women feel ashamed to speak out because of the stereotypical question, did you not enjoy it? It's very sad because cases of boys who have been sexually molested by women are not taken seriously.
Right.
This woman talks about, what if a woman, Slim Jim, what if a woman was raped by her husband and both families, that's both the husband and wife's family, are blaming her for not giving her husband sex as the reason?
Right.
What should she do?
There's so many questions. We can't even exhaust these questions. When we come to the audience and take a few. Okay, well, yeah, Waike had a question.
Yeah, because you said you should go to if you're raped, keep the evidence. In the case of a child who cannot go to the hospital with evidence, who is constantly raped by her father, there has to be a body that she can go to. There has to be somewhere. Do you offer that assistance for children? Is there somewhere, a number they can call? Is there anything that they can do?
As a matter of fact, in Lagos State, they have the sexual offences response team. They will have a number.
And they are very active.
Very active.
They are very.
They have a number of. There are a number of NGOs. My own NGO, Women Empowerment and Legal Aid. That's what we do. And on a daily basis, perhaps I should also mention that on a daily basis, we get a call. I mean, calls from not less than 10, an average of 10 people. Women who have been driven out by their husband, children who have been abandoned, children who are undergoing sexual harassment. So they know
we have to get these numbers out. You know what? We need to find a way to get those numbers considered.
So some of the times we advertise these numbers.
Right.
Yes, like we are on LTV and we advertise.
Let me take a few comments from our audience because we have very little time left. Let's take a few comments or questions. Go ahead, please.
Okay, my question goes to what Miriam said. She said we should educate our children, especially the female child, not to sit on a laps of uncles, brothers, friends. Now, this thing is happening in our own house, which is the father. So do we deprive the girl child not to play with the father, or the father should not play with his or her own child? Number two, now we're talking about rapists now. What do we do to stop this mess?
Okay.
That's the rapist.
Issue of father-girl relationship.
You not say the guy, she shouldn't sit on the...
Do we tell your father?
Of course you can. And that is also why the mother should be very vigilant. When you'll be very vigilant. That is a hard fact, but you must be very vigilant. When you notice that your husband now, or the father, is placed in such a way that you think...
But there's this perception that fathers are closer to their daughters. So
you must be vigilant, and that is why you must be close to her. You begin to ask questions.
No, you have to... I
must ask questions.
The advice, because if you tell me that my daughter should not sit on her father's lap,
you ask questions.
No, she's not saying you should ask. She's saying that observe.
You see you should be vigilant.
That there's something fishy about the positioning.
Let me take one more comment from the audience. Go ahead, very quickly. Very quickly, please. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Caleb Olonisola. I just have some precautions comments that we can just take. Like, time factor. A young lady that is passing the adolescence stage, there should be a time that she should come into the house. Not that she will stay outside up to like 10, 9 p.m. the night. like my own family, my dad regulates my young sister's time to come in. By 7, it should be in. Whatever what you are doing.
Thank you for that, boys.
I think the second one, I still have to.
There must be boundaries.
Dressing sense. I happen to be a student of one of the university in Lagos State, and at night the way they dress in hostel is so barbaric.
Okay, thank you. We get the point.
I'm so happy because this is the burden of guilt that's always put on the victim. We need to have conversations where people, even before rape happens, for the rapist, before you get that mindset to think that it's about how someone else is dressing or how late that person is out, you yourself should not look at someone and think this is someone that is available for me to rape. We need to have those sort of conversations with
and that's a whole different show. We can't talk about that because that's a major issue. That issue keeps coming up because of your dressing, because of how you look, because of
how about the dressing of the man as well?
So we have to run off, but I want you to touch on one thing before we go.
Yes.
A woman is in a marriage that her husband is raping her child. What can that woman do?
Yeah, this is also what happens very regularly.
Right.
It is, I don't want to speak out because of the stigma. I don't want, in fact, there was a particular woman whose husband was constantly raping the stepdaughter. And she came and she told us, I noticed this, but I don't want to lose my marriage. It is our advice that, please, when such is, and most of the time, it is either they're economically independent.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we have to run off. So
yes.
What should she do?
She should speak out and because of the interest of the girl, please report.
Report. Okay.
Report the case. It is important to report the case.
We have to wrap up. We cannot exhaust this conversation. We are going to have to do a series. Okay, we're going to bring you back. We're going to continue this for a few weeks because people need that. We need to close the gap in the education on this area. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.